Illuvium has dropped a massive patch, and it comes packed with so many changes. From the new weapons, the revival of the survival arena, the implementation of the missions dashboard, and Airdrop Season 2. Hey everyone, I'm Caveman, and this is one update you are going to want to playtest before the launch on July 25th. In this video, I'm going to break down all the new changes, as well as my strategies on how to best accumulate airdrop points in this preseason 2. Feel free to check along the timestamps below to find whatever's important to you. I'm going to start off with the Overworld Changes, specifically around capturing Illuvials. They've significantly reduced the drop rates for those higher stage Illuvials and Hollows. I personally have only seen 2 stage 3s in over 30 runs. I've seen maybe 3 stage 1 Hollows, so they are getting increasingly rare. With that being said, they did increase the experience given out per fight in the overworld, so that'll make that grind feel a little bit less when you're trying to just fuse up. With the stage 3 runs bringing in almost 4,200 experience per fight, basically doubling what it was before. You also notice that the drone no longer has a slot for team size, and your teams are default at 8. The battles do feel a little bit tougher than before, but they seem to be in a perfect place in my opinion. I really do find they're enjoyable now. Mining has changed for the large deposit rocks, the super nodes. You can now quickly nuke them and collect all that high tier ore within like a couple seconds. Really nice feature there. And when you do bring that loot back to the forge, you're going to see this beautiful new UI, which makes crafting 1000% easier than before. Such a nice improvement. There are 2 things I wish I could see on there. One is being able to see what would a item feed into, so such as like a stage 1 suit, what is the stage 2 that it will feed into, or a weapon. I think that'd be really helpful. And then also just a back button. If we do dive into like an ingot or some other material, can we just back to whatever the main item we're trying to craft is? That would be something I think would make that a lot better for quality of life purposes. You will also notice that these suits and weapons have gone through a major rework. This has led to a bittersweet feeling. I loved the bonding system before, but I do understand that this may be the better path forward, especially with the gauntlet mode on the horizon, trying to onboard a lot more players that are not fully immersed in this ecosystem. Now, the weapons do have a composite synergy in the higher stages. This leads to less flexibility, but more focused teams and strategies. Some of these are completely busted right now and will be balanced, like this Bloom shield. I managed to get over 600,000 shield, making the Ranger immortal. Some of the other weapons do extreme damage or have other really cool abilities. I can't wait to start testing them all out, but they are super fun, so you definitely want to check those out. The suits also got reworked, and that helps make those weapons really unique and fun to play with, especially the tier 5s. They now cost 100 mastery points, just pure chaos. They can really make these weapons just way overpowered, so that's super fun. Enjoy playing around with that before it gets crazy. And one other thing that you want to check out now is that Ascendant mode is actually Leviathan. And if you don't know the difference, Ascendant is supposed to have balanced stats for all of the Illuvials. There's no levels, there's no base stat changes. Leviathan is the one where level matters, stats matter, and that's actually what Ascendant mode is right now. I'm not joking, the stats and levels matter. I tested this out with a level 40 seer in a 1v1 against a level 1 seer, and you can see the difference. Like I also had to go against this Archelion turtle. It was level 57 and just would not die with the Verdant buff. It was crazy. So if you wanted to feel that out and see what Ascendant Arena could be like, now is the perfect time. I also, in this time, realized how impactful the base stats are compared to level. I have this level 13 Fernite. It's actually weaker than this low level 1 with really good stats. A perfect stat Illuvial will make a huge difference in Leviathan mode, and I imagine those Illuvials will be quite expensive and rare, so if you find one, definitely keep it. Now, the survival mode is also back, and it is a hit. I think you have a whole bunch of these new players in the ecosystem, and now they're seeing how much fun survival mode is. Everyone's fighting for that leaderboard. They're going for that wave of 40 clear, which gives you 1,000,000 airdrop points, leading to a whole bunch of collaboration and grinding that I haven't seen since Private Beta 1. Just incredible to see. The implementation of the missions dashboard is what I think makes this so fun and engaging. We now have daily missions and milestones that are in survival mode, but in everything else. And the milestones are so good for long-term progress that just literally makes me want to do nothing but play Illuvium. It is so addictive. I just want to go and finish all my tasks and get that drop. So let's go ahead and jump into the best strategies to accumulate points. I have this spreadsheet right here that breaks down all the different modes and methods we can do it. I've kind of broken into segments of how many hours it would take and how many points you get per hour. At the end, I do talk about 4 main strategies, and you can decide which one you think is best. But we're going to go with the Ascendant Arena first. This one, maybe you just want to go back to PvP. You want to fight some people, and you want to get back into it. I know I did. And unfortunately, I just don't think it's very profitable. Even if you could try to go for this 5,000 matches, you could earn that 1 million airdrop points, but it's pretty insignificant. One, because doing 5,000 matches, even winning them, would take you 416 hours to complete. So even if you played for the next 24 hours in the next 21 days for 24 hours each, you would not complete that. I think you only get like 1,200 or 1,800 matches completed in that time. So good luck. That's not going to happen. Winning 500 is possible though. You could do that in roughly, 40 hours, really grinding it out hard. You'll get 100,000 points, which is cool, but you have to win every one of those, and sometimes you just get unlucky, sometimes you get a little bit of desync. There are bugs where you can also just get kicked out, and then you have to surrender. It sucks. So that's really unfortunate. I would avoid doing that. You do get some points for winning underneath it, so you could get a total of 113,000, but the points per hour is only 2,830. We have people with millions of points, and they've only been playing for a few days, a week now, so I promise you there's better options there. Even if you got to the top 1, which I would think is very unlikely. Basically, that would give you another 200,000 on top. But getting there is really hard because we have players that are at like probably 1,900 in rank points, so whatever you're at right now. But they're going to play one game and they're not touching their accounts. Like they're going to get top 1, they're done. They're not messing around with that anymore. So you won't be able to try and beat them. Even if you're a better player, you won't be able to take those points from them. And other players are just fighting. It's going to be tough to get there. A lot of people are not playing that right now, and there's just long queue times as well. So you wouldn't get all of these leaderboard points for a total accumulation. But so then we're going to move on to survival mode. Super excited to have this. It's been a lot of fun to go back in there. Unfortunately, there are a good amount of bugs here that are quite frustrating, so this can be a little bit of risk of your time. If you get the Ascendant token bug where you lose that, that's really frustrating because it basically means you just need to restart your run because then you just can't push as high as you want to. But if you can get on the top 1 leaderboard, one time you get 100,000 points there, that's a cool one, but it's going to be hard. You're going to need to be one of those skilled players that potentially have put on 1,000 hours in this game. I know I have 1,000, and there's plenty of other people that do, and it's going to be hard for you to get to wave to top 1. Top 10, a little bit more achievable, especially if you're working with a guild, with a team. You guys are taking screenshots, you're sharing strategies and how you beat certain waves, and you're really greeting at the beginning. Hey, that's possible. You work together, you get up there. You just need to find some people to play with, I think. The top 100 leaderboard, that's also very possible. Just be able to start grinding. I think top 10, you're probably have to be in like 30, wave 30 roughly. Top 100 is like 20 and 25, somewhere in that range. That'll usually get you into these different leaderboard situations. So maybe on a day when there's not a lot of the hardcore grinders out, that's your day to try and push and try to get up there. When it comes to beating the waves, there's a lot of different options there. You can accumulate some points. Wave 10, everyone should be able to do that. You just got to play a little bit. You'll be able to get there. Wave 20, that gets pretty difficult. You'll have to put in some hours, especially if you're new to it. But once you're able to start doing that, it'll start feeling really good. You'll have a good understanding of the game. It's a really good baseline for everyone. I suggest always trying to get to wave 20 in survival mode. It makes you better in Overworld in general, and you can get 10,000 points, which is not a lot. So you can potentially waste a lot of time trying to get these, but it's a one-time thing. If you see that the players are reaching wave 40, that might be a good day, especially if you're not a great player. You can do those wave 10, wave 20s, and try and push that up. So that's one suggestion I would have. Going for wave 30, going for wave 40. Well, let's just do wave 30 first. That's a pretty good day. If you really grind it out, you're good at the game. You could do that, especially if it's an easier day. You should be able to do that once and get that milestone. So that's a good one. The wave 40, this new update is difficult. I don't know if it's achievable. I know it was before. I've gotten to wave 40 before, but now it is tough. Like getting this 1,000,000 points is so juicy, it looks good, but until there's a day that you see a lot of the hardcore grinders making up to wave 40, I wouldn't even try it. Just wait for someone really pushing there, and then you're gonna have to screenshot, you're gonna have to work with people, and you might be able to get there. So that's one thing to think about. The survival mode, getting games, just playing a game. I actually went for exploits here to see, is this even cost effective? So if you actually just beat the first wave and then go into the second wave, it takes like 2 minutes max, and you could cycle through that. Even if you did that, you're only going to be bringing in 666 mastery points or airdrop points per hour. So it's just not effective. This is just something you'll passively get if you're playing. I wouldn't try to force these at all. So then we move on to what looks to be the best options, and that's playing Overworld. Being in Overworld, specifically building suits was the one that in weapons were the two that I thought you'd be able to make the most amount of airdrop points. You've got a lot of resources. You can do those runs super fast. Just go mine, crank those out 5-10 minutes, get a whole bunch of ore, build some stuff, and you just have to build everything once, and then you can rack up a whole bunch of points. There's a bunch of milestones there, and I really think that that's where you can make a good amount of points. It's actually 1,523,000 for all of those, so that's a really good one if you just get all the suits. Then you have weapons, and weapons could also be just as equally lucrative. However, you're missing a couple. I think there's the bow stage 2 is just not in the game right now. Maybe that'll be fixed by the time you're playing, but so that's a risk. They won't be able to get the final achievements there for like 300,000 or 600,000. So I would avoid doing this unless that's inputted or that's updated, and otherwise just do the suits. And then actually what was surprising is the most lucrative is actually hunting alluvial still. Even with the low drop rates, I think these are going to be really important. And it's not because of alluvials themselves, it's because of the experience. The experience milestones are huge. There are so many milestones for gaining experience that it is really, really cost effective, especially since they boosted the stage 3 runs to be 4,200 experience. You throw the brain caps on there to double your XP, you're going to quickly ramp those up. So I got this little chart here where to get 10,000 experience, which is the first threshold, you're going to need to do 2.5 encounters to get that. Every 2.5 encounters, you're going to be making 10,000 experience, as long as you win them. Obviously, you need to be able to win them. And then to get 3 million, you have to do 714. So in 40 hours, you can actually crank out 480 of these, and that's based on winning every 5 minutes. Now, some people can do that faster. We got hype guys that are saying they're doing it every 3 minutes. We got some people that'll probably be doing it every 10 to 15 minutes. So you'll have to understand and make your decisions there. But there's so many thresholds along the way that this is just a safe way that you'll be able to progress just safely as you go up. And even with just 40 hours of gameplay, no brain plants, so no double XP, you can get up to 2 million experience, and then that'll give you the 2 million airdrop. So that's something that's really, really good there. And then if you can use the brains, you can then push that up to 3 million experience, getting the full 3 million, or not, it's not 3 million experience, it's going to be 2,580,000 airdrop points. So that is a really good way to do that, because not only are you going to be getting experience, but as you're going through, you're going to collect all of these stage 1 alluvials of all tiers. You're going to get that one, boom, you get that bonus, it's 163,000 there. And then you're also going to be looking for stage 2s of the tier 1 and tier 3, maybe even the tier 2s if you see them often. Stage 2s of the tier 3s might be hard for you to get as well. They are pretty rare. The only thing I've caught is like a seer and then a couple, a Lulura. So that's kind of where it's going to be hard to get these, but if you're really grinding, I think it's possible to get those. And so then you get that. You can also hit a couple of fusing thresholds with all that experience you're accumulating. And I think that this will be actually the most effective, is going into these overworld alluvial battles, just crank out literally every encounter you see, fight, kill, do as fast as you can, back out. And then you're going to want to use a lot of brains. So you are going to need 1,000 brains to really get to that 3 million experience. So pretty much you're running around, you're shooting alluvials, you're shooting the brain plants so that you can get that double XP. The flint caps is what you're actually hunting for. That's the actual item. And you just keep doing that. So just a final breakdown to make it clear. Overworld battles, you put 40 hours in there. you could potentially get 64,000 experience per or airdrop points per hour, leading to a total of 2,580,000. If you do the mining avenue, just suits, do that for 40 hours, and you can actually get all the suits done in 40 hours, which that may be a task. I actually haven't done the exact math on that, but I also had a lot of leftover resources from the last patch, so that made it just super easy just to crank those out. That'll give you 38,000 airdrop points per hour, leading to 1.5 million points. Next, it would be survival mode, if you're able to really get that round 40. And obviously, I have the assumptions here. So you have to be able to get top 1 day and beat wave 40. And in that time, you'll probably play 100 games. That's where you get the 1.3 million. Good luck. It's going to be difficult. That takes a lot of skill. In Arena, even worse. This is if you place top 10 leaderboard and you win 500 games, you only get 200,000 experience. So that's kind of what your chances are. It's really just looking like hunt the alluvials. You might even get the hollows. I didn't even add those in here, but that's a potential too. If you can complete a set with the hollows or a tier collection, should be another little boost. But that's all I have for this update. It's super exciting to see it. It is coming close to launch, though. I hope we're able to hash out all these details, hash out all the bugs that are happening, and then we're going to be ready for a really exciting thing. And we got Gauntlet mode coming out soon. I cannot wait to play that game mode. I am just so pumped. But anyways, that's all I got for you guys today. Thank you for watching. If you liked it, hit that like button, subscribe for more, and I'll see you guys next time at Caveman logging off.